Aston Villa went from the Championship, relying on that man Jack Grealish, to Champions League nights under the mastermind Unai Emery. Last season, he secured Villa in the Champions League for the first time proper since 1982-83. An amazing achievement for the boys, who are fighting to do it again. But this time, their owner is scrapped. I'm the new owner of Villa, and I'm keeping Unai to start off with, and I'm taking over for 10 seasons to see how truly good this Aston Villa team can be. As yes, people, here we are. This is the team we start off with, and it is in the correct formation. This is what Unai plays with the villains. It's going to be so interesting, this challenge, because it's not one of the Sky Top 6. One of them teams you can imagine with all the money to spend. Villa has FFP rules, and I have a rule for the 10-season takeover. Firstly, we spin this wheel, which does have all the first team players on it. That can be from the bench or the starting 11, and whoever it rolls upon, we must keep for the entire save, and it's rolled on John Duran. That's funny because he's actually rumoured with a move to Al Nassr at the moment. Might have actually gone by the time this video comes out, as now we have the reserves. Only 3 players on it, and this man's actually been starting games. Bogard, okay, I believe he's a very versatile player as well. As there's their contracts juiced up, I have tried to loan out the real life players that have just gone out of the club, like Buendia, and also Louis Barry, looking a player for the future, and we do have 82 million to spend. Maybe not at all. There is FFP in the way. Plus, I want to start with the academy. I want to get more players into this squad, because there isn't many in the reserves, and of course, I'm going to look in England to try and find someone, as this team, it does have a lot of potential in it. In Kamara, only 24, Morgan Rogers, 21. As I believe the first position we look for could be a left midfielder, although on the bench, Jacob Ramsey, so we're kind of covered on all bases. Let's just see where the wind takes us, as is there any players I would get rid of? Yuri Tielemans needs to be a DM, but I don't really want to sell him to another club. Maybe Leon Bailey. He does have that special something, but as a 26-year-old, he's probably better off the bench. But before we get on to searching for an actual first team right mid, do we have one in the academy? Because these players we have just found are brilliant. Luca Humphries, Matthews, Wilkinson, and a right mid right here who was already in the Aston Villa academy. So them lads all do get a promotion. They all do get put straight on the loan list, as I have an idea for the right mid and an idea from over in Europe, as Girona springs to mind, a team that failed to get out the Champions League and do have this talent, Victor Tyskenkov. He's an improvement on Leon Bailey, and what I believe we need season 1. So without further ado, he comes and joins the villains. He hopefully helps us carry us up, continue in the Champions League, but season 2 will not be that straightforward. 9th in the league table, which is no European competition, and Unai Emery in his job is not safe. We can sack him at any time, go and get another manager. The only thing is, with that new manager, we have to play his formation. And at the moment, we're playing Emery's, but he might just keep hold of that job as he goes and wins his first trophy in season number 1. The FA Cup beating Newcastle 4-0 on the way to the final. And also Chelsea 1-0. Unai did it the hard way. Unfortunately not repeated though in the Carabao. That one goes to Manchester City, and a loss to Liverpool in the Carabao. So I guess we did get revenge in the cup final, which is a big thing, and plus we had to put effort into the Champions League. Finishing 14th, you know, not bad. We do get a playoff round where we did beat PSV, actually doing decent in real life. They did just beat Liverpool, who topped the Champions League phase, and then we went on to Real Madrid, unfortunately dropping out in the round of 16, but hey, that's the best team in the world. Hopefully not for long though. Hopefully we can turn this team into it. As I did make some slight changes, I had to rotate for age, such as Onana for Tielemans, he does have 5 years on him, and Ramsey for McGinn. 6 years younger is the left mid. Bogard not in the squad. Unfortunately, can't loan him out because he's one of the players we actually have to keep, and that's unlucky. Same with John Duran, who grabbed only 5 appearances, no goals in the team. But look who was the top scorer. Every silver cloud, because it's Viktor Tysgankov, the new signing we made us. Yes, I did loan all those players out. You did see at the start as well, so they will continue to grow. Just like the first team players is the best, is Emiliano Martinez, who is 32-year-old, so he's getting older at the same time as Olsen as well. The backup is 35-year-old and he's running out of contract. I just let that go ahead and expire. So we need another keeper next season, and I want a little bit of luck from you guys. Could you hit the subscribe button and leave a like, as we're on the race to 50k. But more importantly, on the race for success here with Aston Villa. And now we've got our main team. Well, the main team for a few seasons. We need to get the roles right to make sure the players keep on improving. And this is what I'm going with. I'm going with a very odd shape, because the more I look at Matty Cash, the more I do see midfield attributes. And also Luca Dean, he does have a decent passing range. Then again, Maatsen does, and he's on the bench. He is a lot younger as well, so he sneaks his way into the team. As where do we improve this? Well, it has to be goalkeeper, doesn't it? Because Olsen is leaving the club. And by the way, look at the player growth. Now, we've got 42 players here. Oh no, it isn't just the loanies we loaned out ourselves. It's all the rest. Like Illing Jr., Dendoncker, Buendia, Alex Moreno. We don't need all these players, so I am going to start selling a few. Make a whole bunch of profit. Get a goalkeeper and maybe another player for our first team. But one of the youngsters I'm not going to be selling is Samuel Illing Jr., 21, looks very decent. But unfortunately, a few of the loanies that came back don't look good at all for the team I want to build. So Enzo Berentia is the first out the door, followed by Emiliano Buendia. He's been replaced by Tysgankov. And out goes Tyrone Mings, the club captain to Tottenham Hotspur. Or once was the club captain. I remember there was a whole feud with Steven Gerrard. As that's all in the past, we've got a big budget for the future. And also a few decent academy players I will promote, so no need for another one. We're just going to get that keeper in. And again, we're going to go for another player who's decent, as this is going to be a backup man behind Martinez. Noah Atubolu, 23-year-old, still room for growth. So I'm taking him on. Welcome to the club. Very much a fan of how he grows in career mode, as now he can get mentored by Emiliano Martinez. And we can go out there and try and improve this first team further, as Matty Cash was a body I speaked about having a brilliant passing and dribbling range. But this man looks a lot better. Molina at Atleti Madrid, playing back in Unai's home country of Spain for one of the big boys, and cost us a little too much money, but I'm glad to have him in this Villa team. He cost us enough money because we do have them strict transfers on, but anyway, he's worked because he's got Aston Villa up to second place, competing in the Premier League. And also I put a poll out asking you guys in the last video to comment if the Community Shield counts as a trophy, and now it does, so that's a second one. But unfortunately, the FA Cup this season does not go ahead and join it, like we won it last year, as round 4 lost to West Ham United, and in the Carabao lost to the Saints, who eventually did win the competition. Congratulations to them. Still 2 trophies in 2 seasons and a second place finish in the Europa League from winning the FA Cup. That got us a game against Besiktas, the team we rebuilt last time out, or the time before, and we lost 4-2, a difficult one to take, because I thought we'd be a bit more competitive, as look what this team's done. It has not played Ian Maatsen, it has not played Jacob Ramsey, it's gone for Luca Dean, John McGinn, the players we shifted out, and maybe that is a sign it needs to be a permanent discard of them. As one's guaranteed, Luca Dean, I didn't sign his contract up. We do need to thin the squad out. Yes, I could have tried to sell him, but we have youth players coming through as is, and I love it. Luca Humphries, the best of the bunch, 72 physical and defending, is good, as the best player still is Emiliano Martinez. Keeping clean sheets for fun. 15 now in all competitions. Keeping Atubolu out the squad. And also Ollie Watkins is keeping Duran out the squad, who is a player we need to keep. And he's just not growing. He's on the bench 3 seasons into this. And we do need to keep him, of course. Is that a sign for Ollie Watkins to go? IRL, it is rumoured that Arsenal did put a bid in for him, so maybe we see if that happens. I've gone ahead and put him on the transfer list to just test the waters, as then we've got these players leaving, likes of Ross Barkley next season. At least it's the players we don't want to keep. Do want to keep a few of these youngsters. John McGinn will probably sell, and also Yuri Tielemans. Is this a time for the squad to change? And I'm talking large-scale changes, with a lot of first teamers leaving the club, as here is the transfer list, and I want to get rid of all 5 players if possible, but the only bid coming in for Yuri Tielemans, which is accepted, and then Leon Bailey, he can go to United, as Ollie Watkins has his bid from Arsenal, 76.4. Goodbye, you Villa legend, but he's finally got the move he wanted since he was young, and the money, 67 million's a lot, to add to our budget now of 327 million pounds. Unreal. But do we get a striker? Because I do want to play John Duran. But the demands of us are huge. We've got to win the Prem, win the FA Cup, and also win the Champions League. That doesn't seem very possible with the team we do have now. In fact, it looks a lot weaker than it initially started. Look at the bench. We've got to spend money. So first up, Lilian Brassier, a centre-back from Lille, to just scoot upon that bench, and also a body in Goncalo Franco. 2 semi-decent bodies. Still, we need another striker. And I think despite having to keep him, John Duran does need replacing by this man. Now, not the highest rated, Maximilian Bayer. I think getting him would be good competition, because him and Duran can fight it out for that position up front as the #1 striker going into the UCL again, expected to win the damn thing. Alright, and the excitement's got to me. Who has scored the most goals? Bayer gets the 2nd most. Tyscan Coffee's just on 1, meaning he doesn't stop. And yeah, where did John Duran finish? 6 games, man. There's only 2 strikers at the club, and he's one of them as the best player still. Emiliano Martinez. Kamara's growing nicely. Could we get him another partner in that midfield? Onana doing well at an 83, but behind him, Ezri Konsa. Could he be the next one to go? Also, just switch them over. Please don't go mad in the comments with me about Pau Torres not being on the left footer, as this is a decent finish. 6th. Okay, we were 1 point off Newcastle in the Champions League. Not enough to sack Emery. He does have 2 trophies in the bank, keeping him in his job. And have we just gone and won another one? Yes, we have the Community Shield, making it 3 in 3 seasons. Despite this, I still feel like it is a time to kick on with Villa, because after all, we shouldn't be losing in derby games in the FA Cup. Wolves beating us, and we do like the Champions League, finishing 6th this time, skipping the playoff round and hammering Sevilla to then get beat by our rival side Porto on penalties. And if you're a fan of the channel, you know how much I hate Porto beating us yet again, but still 4th season wonder. And I just said we need to make sure we're Champions League quality indefinitely, meaning we don't drop out of it again. Of course, at the moment we're currently Europa League, and that does have to change alongside a couple of positions in this team. That's right, centre backs caught my eye. Ezri Konsa, 29-year-old, and we do have Luca Humphreys on the come up. Potential to be special, but still does need a loan deal. Also, Ian Matson's our only left back. That has to be addressed. We need double in both position, both centre-back and left-back, as £336 million is enough to back Unai Emery, and he has got to try and win more than 1 trophy in a season, maybe the Europa League, because this man has pedigree winning it, with Villarreal, as maybe that is the team we look at for our next signing. They do have a very decent younger, Simon Crespo, 20-year-old, and do have a striker, Lukaku, and also Jean-Philippe Mateta. Unreal, but no good centre-back. I did find a decent left-back, Cardona, and also Yeremy Pino. Now, I know we don't really need a left mid. We have Jacob Ramsey, Barry, Dobbin, and Illing Jr., but this guy's failing to grow. and I'm not going to be patient with him. I need the best of the best, hence why I've spent so much on Pino, and also Sergi Cardona, because these Spanish clubs love their release clauses. And I somewhat still love this man, Sam Milling Jr. Why I'm only loaning him out for now is because I still have that faith. And I believe he did play for Juventus. Experienced in the Serie A, so that is where he'll go and play football. Leaving us with this team, very good. Pino comes onto the left. And also onto the bench for one of the first times, a youth player. But unfortunately, he's not grown. And same as our defender I kept, he's also called Ezra. But I think the defender's Esri. And the reason I did keep Esri Konza just for another season is because I wanted to check on Luca Humphries. Unfortunately, he's not grown much at Leicester, and same with Illing Jr., only 78. I'm going to be trusting Pino and Jacob Ramsey off the bench, as these are the stats for this season. We've got Bayer now the top scorer, Rodgers in second, and Tyskonkov dropping to third, but still, he's sensational, and I do see other changes here. Franco in the midfield. Now, he was not brought in to start. Looks like Borgard might have got a little bit of game time. We've got to keep him. As I'm going to experiment with his position, I'm also going to try him as a centre-back. As who's the player we lost? I can't believe it. There it is. That transfer to Manchester United for over 100 million. I mean, last time Manchester United got a Frenchman in the midfield, it didn't really work out long term, but it has worked out in this season. As United go and win the Prem, we do get Champions League football quite comfortably, so improvement, but still not a trophy. And no trophy in the FA Cup because we're beaten by Manchester City, and also beaten by Coventry on penalties in the Carabao Cup. So this could actually be a stinker season, and I think it is, because 22nd in the group stages of the Europa League is horrible, but he's saving his job by beating Malmo is Emery. Still, if we don't win this, I don't think we do sack him just yet, as we beat Nice. Then we beat Athletic Club 2-1, a squeeze, before getting unlucky in the semi-finals, losing to Chelsea 3-2. And I hate it. Back in the Champions League with a lot of improvements to make. That centre-back needs to come in this season. Also definitely need a DM. Maybe we try and find our Paul Pogba, but we do have players returning from loans, including this man I didn't mention. Nedeljevic looks quite decent. Very pacey, 95. So maybe not built for the centre mid slot of being a false back, but still would allow us to sell the aging Matty Cash, as well as Konza, who's getting older, but maybe one more season as a backup. And also Emi Martinez, he's now 35 years old. He's served us very well, but his rating is just going to skyrocket downwards as 361 million. We should afford another one, if we please. But first, we do need that centre-back option. And let's check the Bundesliga. Come on, let's explore Europe a little bit more. We need a right-footed centre-back, so no issues. And I do want a young one again. So Giorgio Scalvini at Bayer Leverkusen. Won't be easy to afford him, but afford him we must. We need someone capable of UCL football. And this man could just be it. He's cost, again, an astronomical fee, but goes straight into the centre-back slot. We needed him in, and it's now that CDM work by itself, desperately needed, and then maybe on the bench we do try and replace Norton. Still, let's calm down. Let's calm down. We definitely need to get this next purchase right, as we can't be taking chances on youngsters. We need someone good now. And what about this man? Never heard of him. Alan Valera at Mönchengladbach. Another Argentinian, so might keep Martinez for a while longer, as this man is the missing piece to our puzzle. As if we were Thanos, we've collected all the Infinity Stones to give us a good season, hopefully completing objectives, which, by the way, demand us to win every single trophy. And early signs, now we are officially halfway through the 10 seasons, look good. Maximilian Bayer, second top scorer behind Erling Haaland in the Premier League, but unfortunately that looks like it doesn't equal success, because it's Champions League, but we're not anywhere near winning it. The Premier League, that is. I am desperate to get my hands on that trophy, and also just any trophy. Losing in a semi-final to Bournemouth in the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup is even bigger heartbreak. Losing in the final 2-1. This time, it's the Gunners, Arsenal, who have our old striker, of course, Ollie Watkins. I'm actually going to check it. Oh no, he's at Leipzig, but 91 rated is amazing. Kinda hoping we kept him now, as this is how the team has gone. Onana hasn't been played, and Emi Martinez down to an 84. Looks like a goalkeeper will be needed, especially when we're leaking goals. As that's right, halfway through the build, we don't get out of the Champions League phase. Okay, so it seems like we've reached a point where our team is brilliant, but it is failing to win, and hence why the manager's failing. That's right, Unai, to me, is not impressing at all. So it is in the corner of my eye. I can sack him and change formation if needs be, as I'm going to change the shape up. This doesn't seem to be working. Maybe go for the good old reliable Christmas tree shape. Varela drops as a centre-back, so making it up with that 90 physicality with Pau Torres and Scalvini, as Torres is not getting any younger. We do have Humphries on the bench, 22, kind of waiting for his shot, but I believe the shot we take is getting rid of Maatsen for a more capable left-sided player as Louis Barry. No, he's not a left-back, but he's released to Fenerbahce, joining Jose Mourinho. And also Matty Cash, 31. No idea at all how he has got a move to Liverpool. Maybe Trent's gone to Real Madrid, giving him the opportunity to move as now a left back. Fonzie Davies is a good option, but can we take off Barcelona? I don't think we're in the position, but since this man's moved from Bournemouth, the extremely impressive Milos Kerkez is available. And these release clauses, man, over in Spain are doing my head in. £61 million on the Hungarian. At least he's grown by 2, but I've got other issues to talk about here. Onana and Scalvini, and also Emiliano Martinez, just looks shocking. And that's shocking news. Our keeper from day one, yes, he's 37, but leaves us to go to Newcastle after only picking up 6 clean sheets. I mean, it's not good for the Premier League. Well, doesn't sound good. And we're trying to win that goddamn competition, as Bayer is our top scorer with Tyskonkov second, but that isn't many goals. And this is not the goal we're after. 10th. Oh dear, Unai Emery. You've got yourself in trouble, losing as well on penalties in the FA Cup, and then Bradford in the Carabao is worse. And despite a quarter-final in the Champions League 4-3, I don't think the main man has done enough to keep his Aston Villa job. And season number 7. I cannot believe I'm doing this. Andone Iraola is the new Aston Villa coach. He's worked with Kerkez before. He has Bournemouth flying in real life. So I've gone and paid him a lot of money to try and fix this first team, which has somehow lost Scalvini. Maybe we go with Humphries. And we definitely need a new keeper. We're going to have to back our manager, as judging off his last huge win, 5-0 against Nottingham Forest, he does play the 4-2-3-1, so we don't really change the formation, just them tactics. So yeah, I am sticking with a man who plays the same style, but I'm going to make it a bit more spicy. I'm going to back him in the window. Of course, he's Spanish, so can work with Pino. And maybe another Spanish keeper, if there's a good one out there. Or maybe we could rob Bournemouth, who he has kept in the Premier League, and built a rather nice team there, as Johan Bakayoko looks a very nice player, but he's got a lot of very nice players as is. And one of those nice players is Andre Lunin, the goalkeeper. Not too sure on him though, but I am going to make the mark by signing an ex-player, Bakayoko. We don't have unlimited money, as you can tell, because that 110 million wasn't enough. We've had to pay a little bit extra. Now we can prioritize one position, leaving only £122 million left, which sounds like a lot, but to replace a player like Martinez and under a new manager, it's gonna be difficult. Oh, there is this man Julien. He looked quite good, and it's a shame there was no one at Bournemouth. Unai Simon, the same, 33. Without that bite, we would need in a goalkeeper, but I found kind of a filler man, as I'm unsure how he would do in the long term as the goalkeeper in the number 1 slot. but welcome our now Tenas. And if his first season is anything to go off in the goal for Aston Villa, well, let's just say we'll be keeping him, because we're first! 1 defeat! It's only took 7 seasons to get to this point. Look at the 2-0s, the 2-1s, as our only defeat was 1-0 to Liverpool. Unreal, but then the cups... The FA Cup doesn't go with it, nor does the Carabao Cup. It looks like Brighton had a good run there. And no Champions League, which is a shame because with the form we're on, the form in England, I would have loved to be in Europe. We bloody would have won every game, like we almost did here. And this is the team we've actually gone with. We didn't sign a centre-back, left it with Humphreys and Konza, but it was this guy that's played, this guy who hasn't been in the first team. Brassier is that. That is the team coached by Iriola that has finished so high up. And we've also got a position change to make. Bakayoko will be a cam, so he's going to fight it with Morgan Rogers. For game timers, look at this. Tyson Goff with 22 goals, but the real shining star, Tenas, with 27 clean sheets. Unreal for the level we're at now. Season 8, and we've won a few more things. Or won 37 games, yet still... It was only 1 trophy. And we need more, Andone, please. Go and sign some defenders. Because Pau Torres is now 34. Brassier himself is 31. And unfortunately, Bogard hasn't worked out. He's 27. He's still a DM. Then we've got Vini, Tucker, and still we have Luca Humphreys, whose stats look amazing. 99 sprint speed. That is VVD levels. Has he ever been rounded in the Premier League? Maybe not with the form we went on last season, and I'll give him a contract alongside a few other players as over £200 million for a partnership at the back. And I'm back to looking at Bournemouth. Eric Garcia is a Spaniard, but still, he's 30-year-old. And in my opinion, the best thing to do is get 2 players from the same nationality, working as a pairing, as I can't remember when this man left us. Scalvini, as Italian, could be the way to go now. A lot of decent Italian players. I know he's 32, but Alessandro Bastoni could be an unreal shout, so... I'm going to take the gamble on him. World class, this man, so I'm going to take it down the Italian route with a youth player, D'Angelo, hopefully holding his own. As feast your eyes on the partnership we have just created. This is like prime Bonucci and Chiellini put together again, as maybe one of them is on the old side. Also Tysgankov, Molina. Okay. I'm definitely seeing an aging process with our lads, but a stopping process? Don't be so silly. Because Bayer's just scoring more, 43 goals, and Rogers 31. That smells like success to me with loads of goals, as it's not just a 1 defeat this season, but... another Premier League, plus a Community Shield over Brighton, get in there. But no FA Cup. We lose on penalties to Leeds United in a final we should have been winning, as West Ham have beaten us again in the Carabao. I'm getting a little bit annoyed by that, but now the Champions League, back where we belong and back amongst the top tier teams in world football, as Lazio hammered before moving on to Milan. And they actually beat us. 6-5, are you joking me? So look, we haven't been close to a UCL, and that needs to change with the signings next season, as I am going straight for a right-hand sided player, because Tysgankov, 34, and has to be thinking of retirement, as we're still focused on 2 more seasons, making a shortlist: Guerrero, Doak, and Akulish. This man played very well against Aston Villa in real life for Monaco. Then Doak, he's out on loan at Middlesbrough. Then Guerrero's a little bit younger, 93 pace, 83 dribbling. For 2 more seasons of this build, I feel like we found our man. As welcoming Guerrero, yes, we've made a lot of signings in our career here with Aston Villa, but we do need to fight for them silverware pieces, as despite spending 80 million, I thought that said 111 million. Turns out we've only got 11, so we are kind of struggling for signatures, as look at the amount of wages our players are on as well. And some of these out of contract contract like Tysgankov, who I don't want to leave immediately, as our best player is Yeremy Pino. We need to probably sell one of these players down here who we don't use. Cardona is now third choice. Go ahead and get on the transfer list. And if we didn't really have to keep him, John Duran, he has done nothing. I'm so disappointed in him. Not only his form here, but moving to Al Nassr. In real life, by the looks of things, I've had to sell Maatsen. No bidding for Cardona, so 45 million into the club to pay for the majority of contracts, but some players don't want to sign another deal. This little man not signing up though, Molina. I'm angry at you and I'm angry at Bastoni because 84. Ugh. Not what we wanted him at, but at least we've still got our team carriers. Yeremy Pino at a 97. Seriously, are we going to get anyone better? Because that is unreal. But what is even more unreal is the amount of goals scored by our main man, Maxi. Now the joint highest scorer above Haaland, joint with Ikenna in the Premier League, but not joint on points with Georgie Ikenna's team, who are top. Liverpool, we're back down to third. At least we do have one more trophy to add to the cabinet in the Community Shield. But disappointed with not winning the Prem. That should be our bread and butter now. Should be winning it comfortably as City beat us in the FA Cup. And Arsenal in the Carabao, the final. Oh my. I keep wanting to say Ollie Watkins' team, but he did make that move to Leipzig. And we stuck to second place in the Champions League behind Arsenal. But my days, we don't have luck. We just get outscored in every knockout game here. And our final season with our man being matched out the door, Molina. At least we do already currently have a better right back here in our man Neddy. So welcome in. I might keep him, but I also might improve there. Although centre back looks like the option because I am not having an 83 rated or an 82 because Luca Humphries decided not to grow despite looking like a good player. Don't forget he had the potential to be special. And I tried to loan him out, wouldn't go out again. I loaned him out to Leicester and Gladbach. In seasons 4 and 5 has now £82 million. Seems like a decent little bit of money, but nothing out of the ordinary. I wanted more as the Serie A. That's where we're going to check first. I'd like that partnership again. Well, I was going to say with the Italians. But Evan Adams, another Adam from USA, could move to the Prem, like Tyler Adams did with Leeds as that 80 million. Probably not enough, so I will include Alessandro Bastoni. But they don't want him. They want Bakayoko, a little bit less money. And you know what? Willing to accept. I believe that is a very good deal for where we're at, so welcome in. Of course, in Cam, we do have Morgan Rogers, but no backup. As you can see, Tysgankov, he's gone all the way down. We've got Coetzee, Kranz, maybe Ezra Norton. He's stuck around, so he's a little bit useful. Can change him to a Cam in 2 weeks, as we'll see what happens with him then. And I will see you all at the end of the 10 seasons. As this is it now. This is the final team we see with Villa. So close to a 99 rated Pino, but didn't just get there. Unfortunately as him, Kirkesh, Tenyas, a regen doing very well, Morgan Rogers, Maximilian Bayer, very highly rated, but this is the moment you guys wait for. The leaderboard, starting with the top scorer, everyone's favourite, or my favourite, Max, is on that leaderboard. He's gone to 5th, so yeah. He's on the first line of players. Not bad, at least we have a player there, and we do have a player here. On assists, Morgan Rogers, 117, sits in 7th. Then clean sheets, we have 2 keepers we use the most over the save, and one is in 7th, and the other one sneaks in 9th. Martinez and Tinyas have done well. We have done well here. 20 points clear of Liverpool. Now we're counting trophies. Can we not come last? Or could we even come first? Because it's a very good start. 2 trophies out of 2. Beating Manchester City. And beating the Carabao Cup finalists in Watford. This looks like a dream. Finally, we beat Southampton. They have been on our backs all the way, just nagging me. As look at that. Top of the league phase now, not second. Could that mean victory? Because the first game, Mönchengladbach, rather standard, rather easy. Before Liverpool, 5-3. This is getting very nice looking. Bayern Munich 5-4. This time on the right side of a squeeze. And we've done it. PSG, the team that finished second to us, beaten us. Now I can confirm with the trophies on alphabetical order. We beat United and higher than Forest. Yes, we didn't win it. We didn't beat the trophies. We won with other teams. But this has been very fun. And as you can see, this is the final team we have. And we've covered a lot of high up teams in England. Let me know who you want to see next. Maybe Brighton, maybe Bournemouth. Maybe we go overseas. And as always, click that subscribe button. Please try and help us out. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Or click my hands for another set of videos.